We just want to take this time to talk about a partnership we have now. We're promoting Iron Beard and Oil Balm. Most of the old blokes on this podcast have beards, so why not get some help looking after them? Iron Beards is a local Australian company that makes high-quality beard oils and balm with 100% natural, organic and vegan-friendly ingredients like hemp oil, natural seed oil and argan oil. They offer products like Black Forest Beard Balm, Valhalla Beard Balm and Oil Spice Rum Beard Balm. That's going to be my favourite. Fresh Rain Beard Oil and many more products. They've even got a deodorant and dog nose and paw balm. If you're interested, be sure to check out their Instagram page, all one word, at Iron Beard Oil and Balm. They're Iron Beard Oil and Balm on Instagram to shop for your needs.
Hello, Paul here. Welcome to episode 7. Today we're going to have a bit of a last dance wrap as it finished this week. I think Joel was shedding a tear as we spoke. In Lukey's stash today, we do a Jordan Brand stable icon who's been around for a while. Lukey calls them the ultimate basketball runner. We have a bit of discussion on sneaker rules and commandments. Can I say after the debate, I think the three of us need to find a new religion. None of these suited us today. And to finish off, Raid Hate Debate gets a little bit fiery. Lukey's not happy with me getting an approval. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you catch our other content. We'll speak soon.
Welcome to Old Blokes Love Sneakers Too. We're episode 7 today of season 4. We're obviously doing our YouTube, as you can see me, and for everyone on the podcast, we're doing YouTube as well. We are, like we keep saying, trying to get better. I am joined by our original hosts with the mostesses. How are you, Joel?
That was a first. I have not ever been called a hostess, mate. I'm good. How are you going?
I'm very well. Maybe I was referring to our other friend. Lukey, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I used to get called a steward on occasion.
This is true.
Because people
Sordid history.
Because in overseas, it doesn't have the same connotation. Everyone just assumes it's just a regular job, like it's a respectful sort of scenario for a young man. But yeah, they must have assumed by my charming disposition and handsome demeanour that I was of that professional persuasion. But alas, that was not the case. And here we are yet again.
We won't keep you long. We can see you there in your shoe factory making some shoes, mate.
You're just going to stop doing this as soon as the action heats up.
I thought he was just getting ready for a game.
Yeah,
Jordan style.
A la MJ.
A la MJ.
Is this your last dance, Luke? You're not telling us something. Hey, that's a good segue, isn't it? Hey, let's talk a little bit of Last Dance. Obviously, it just finished yesterday. Joel,
it's very upsetting, Paul. It's very upsetting. I don't know if I can really express the sadness that I feel right now that it's over.
The sad.
You know, like that anticipation that I've had week on week for the next episode. And I reckon it's taken me all 10 episodes to get my wife across the line. But last night when we were watching episodes 9 and 10, she was a fan. Like, she was shouting and screaming and she's like, oh, you know, what a great shot. And it looks like they're going to win. I'm like, baby, they're going to win. Like, you know they're going to win.
Don't spoil it
we know the story. Like, we know the story here. It's okay.
It's just big fan. Steve Kerr, huh? Steve Kerr's awesome. Her man, right?
Yeah, man, there was some stuff that came out, right? There was some cool stuff. Steve Kerr is the comedian, definitely. That speech he gave.
That was a great speech.
Right?
Just the way he's always talked well, hasn't he? He's always talked really well.
Yeah.
Always hosted himself.
Absolutely.
Well. His dad. Go, Lukey.
I was going to say, what's going on? What if they put in the water at the Kerr household growing up? Because whatever it is, it's not good for skin elasticity. The family's got a hereditary scenario. It wasn't on the dad's side. It was certainly on the mother. And they seem like lovely people. Don't get me wrong, but there's it's a wrinkle factory over there.
Yeah. Hey, I reckon. Did you notice in it, Joel, how there's things you remember but you just don't remember the finer details? You know?
Well, you know, I was saying to my wife that you know, for me watching it, I always had this view that that's what Michael Jordan was like. And it just kind of felt like the inside information just made it all true.
Yep.
Which, you know, I kind of reckon if I watched it when I was in my 20s, I probably wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have received it as well. But now that I'm older, I watch it and I kind of think, yeah, I can really understand a guy that's as determined as he is. And like I've said to you guys offline, and just for the viewers' sakes, like that man stood on an island, right?
Yep.
He stood on an island. He separated himself from everyone else for the sake of winning, and he took a bunch of people with him, the team, and it was just, you don't see those types of people come around very much.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Kobe was the next best version of it from a basketball point of view, and there's Ali from a boxing point of view, maybe Babe Ruth from a baseball point of view.
Yeah.
But, those types of dudes don't come around very often.
Tiger was the other one. Tiger was mine. Yeah, Lukey.
Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods.
Like a Zoom podcast point of view, have we got, is there someone that we can liken to MJ? Is there someone that we can hold in that high esteem?
I don't know. What's the sample size, Luke? I mean,
pick up your game.
We're going
to have to dump you, Lukey. Pick it up.
Yeah, if it's the three of us, it'd be you. No, you'd be more like Will Perdue. Will Perdue, I reckon.
No, you're Scott Burrell. You're our Scott Burrell, Lukey.
Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, look, I think there was nothing we didn't know, like you said. I think it just reinforced it. But I love how he was so open. I think that's the bit that I love is, normally you get these documentaries and the person who is it, it's how great he was and how amazing he was.
Miserable.
Yeah, this didn't show any of that. This showed who he was, right? And he was an arsehole a lot of the time. And, and then people kept saying, I heard someone yesterday go, if he was in business. I'm like, but it's not a business. This is sport. This is how it happens in sport, right? You got to beat somebody and you got to beat them good, right? I think that's what he did.
Yeah.
Hey, what was it? Did you hear the stuff about? They didn't talk about it last night, but I was listening to a couple of podcasts this morning, and they were talking about that he was probably going to go to the Knicks if he was going to go anywhere, if he stayed on for 7, because obviously they wanted to do 7, and they were never going to do it. But I was talking about the Knicks was probably his only avenue. Would have been interesting, I reckon.
I think Phil Jackson was talking about going to the Knicks. That's why. And Jordan said he was never going to play for another coach.
Yeah. What do you think, Lukey? What was your last summer of it? Did you like 9 and 10 the most?
Yeah, I think so. Look, it was an emotional journey. There were some very good things in there. I really, I thoroughly enjoyed sitting through it. Like I was on the edge of my seat, even though it's weird. You're on the edge of the seat. You know the outcomes. You know all the contents. You know Reggie Miller's going to grab and push him with both hands. You know this is going to happen. You know Steve Kerr's going to hit the shot, blah, blah, blah. But it's still super enthralling. And it was just the demeanor, the way he carried himself, all that footage at the back of the United Center, how he had a little office, off the, off the, what do they call it?
The trainer's room.
Locker
back of the trainer's room.
Yeah, he had his own office and he'd sit there and players would come up and beg him for tickets and stuff. And it was just what an amazing existence. How cool to be have the camaraderie of just being around your guys all the time, being able to go out and compete. There's a reason that they have so many challenges later in life, because where do you get your thrill from? Where do you get a rush when you're doing what he's doing? It's nuts. So
Dennis Rodman was onto that early. He knew that his thrill was going to come from wrestling matches during the finals.
That was hilarious. That was just amazing. I forgot about that. I knew he'd left and did wrestling. I forgot it was in the middle of the finals.
It was in the middle of the finals.
Imagine doing that. Where's Nathan Buckley gone? Oh, yeah, he's gone off to do something else before the grand final. It's all good. We're all good.
But they had it was so refreshing that they didn't get a holier than thou attitude about it. They just said, look, you're going to get fined. We still need you. We still love you. Jordan's there going, Rodzilla. Yeah, because so many teams these days, he'd get crucified on social media. He's not taking it seriously, and they'd cut off their nose, spite their face, and they'd see, right, you're not coming back. Greg Popovich did that with Steven Jackson. He just said, look, you're helping us win, but enough bullshit. You're gone. That's pretty much how that went. And he was just too important. And he knew it. He's like, no, they need me. So I've got this length of rope. And he stretched it all the way out. But, I thought, I just think it's wicked. It's so much into it.
I loved watching Phil Jackson's attitude when the media came hunting, that whole witch hunt thing, and they were trying to run Rodman into the ground.
Yeah.
And Phil just said, the only people interested in this are you guys.
We have no interest.
We don't care. We've got Rodman's back. He's coming back to play with us next game.
Hey,
That's cool.
let's just touch on one more thing. I want to talk about Phil Jackson because I think a lot of people now see him from the Knicks. You know, that terrible job he did at the Knicks where he pretty much didn't want to do it, got paid a shitload of cash. You forget how good he was, right? You forget how good he was as a player. And I think he has 1 year off here, and then he goes to the Lakers straight after this and then starts to turn them around. All right, they win 3. Did they win 3? No, they win.
Yeah. They won 3 with Shaq and then another 2 with Kobe.
Yeah, I was going to say, they win the 3 with Shaq and then 2. So all of a sudden, you know, he was phenomenal. Even that burning thing at the end, I love that. Did you like that, Joel, when he did the paper thing?
Yeah. That was nice. Nice to hear that Jordan wrote a poem.
Yeah.
I bet everyone's curious as hell to know what was in it.
Yeah, it's that sort of stuff. I think, but that's the thing, right?
Imagine how much the poem would be worth now if you could frame the poem and throw it up. It'd be like finding the original Bible.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll pop up on the internet, mate. Someone will claim that they've found it.
Yeah. That and the pizza topping that he had on his man on the Jordan.
Food poisoning. We all knew when Marv Albert said it was flu-like symptoms, right? We all knew that it wasn't the flu.
I wanted to change the name of that. That needs to be called the five pizza delivery game.
Yeah.
How did they find out who it was for? That's the thing. Like someone might have gone, "Oh, look, this is a big deal. You're delivering a pizza to Michael Jordan, make it snappy." Or someone might have said the wrong thing.
I reckon they just knew where the Chicago Bulls hotel was, and they didn't care who it was for.
It was just a player. Okay. Yeah, I doubt. I don't think they poisoned. I think it was just some off meat, right? But I think that 5 guys.
Exactly.
If we were running somewhere and you knew you were going to deliver a pizza somewhere, you'd all go, right? Hey, anyway, we will do a lot more on this next week. We're going to do the whole shoes. We'll go through most of the shoes from the Last Dance, and we'll talk through those next week. So we'll have a bit more of our whole episode next week. But we've got a few things we want to talk about today, so we're already set up. Hey, I did have a question I want to ask you, Lukey. I saw that this week you were back in the outlets. How was that, mate? How was your outlet shopping this week?
Well, to be frank, because of the social distancing aspects and the limit to the number of people that can be in the store at once, there was actually an extensive queue to get in. And I don't really queue up. It's part of the my white privilege. No, it's not that. It's part of me spending stupid money on subscription credit cards that allow me to jump most of the queues I have to join. Anyway, regardless, I went there and I saw the bloke that was handing out the tickets for the queue, and the queue was probably an hour long. And I said to him, "There's nothing in that store for me, is there?" And I had the Jordan 3, the red ones on. And he said, "For you, there is nothing." I said, "It's just full of Ultra Boosts and direct to outlet trainers." And he said, "That's exactly what's in there." He said, "You're wasting your time." And I said, "I appreciate your honesty, brother." And
I love that.
I said, "The door opener, it's because I had the fire, and he knew what time it was, and that's what it's all about." So, in saying that, you know, there's still, I guess, a couple of things for people's taste, and there is supposed to be a load of gear coming and getting dropped. So you got to, that's the game of the outlets. You just got to keep going. You got to be persistent and consistent and get there early and just get in and work your way through it. There was a queue for Adidas. They didn't have a sale on. Who the hell's going to do that? Who's going to buy a full retail pair of Ultra Boosts? Fuck that.
All right. Hey, Joel, you've been doing some shopping, but I know you've been trying to invest in a bot, mate. How's your bot research going?
The bot thing's been doing my head in, actually, Paul. I started investigating it, and the first thing I decided to look at, typical old man thing, like I'm reviewing a car and just wanting to find out what could possibly go wrong with it. So I start thinking, what can go wrong with botting? And it says it's not as easy as you think, and it shows you what the bot, screens look like and all of the knowledge that you need to have for the proxies and servers and setting all this up. And like, if you don't get it right, you get locked out of all the different stores. And I thought, gee, I don't know that I can be bothered reading the 140-page manual that goes along with this. But, it's tempting. I mean, dollar-wise, it's about, $500 a year, you know, and if you can get a few extra pairs, or even take it a step further and, you know, set up a store and sell a few pairs, it could be worth it. But
Maybe we might get
my first reaction was, I'm just going to keep buying what I want.
We'll get you to
Can
have
I
a look at it. Go, Lukey.
So can I ask, is it just what I assume it is just like an interface that just randomly generates IP addresses and just masks yours so that you can go through and check out numerous times? Is that basically what it does?
That's you can set it up to do that from what I saw. So it'll automatically just use your own computer's IP address, but you can also set it up to run proxies for a whole bunch of additional IP addresses, so that when it hits the retail store, predominantly Shopify, which is what I learned, not through like direct to Nike, and Nike don't use Shopify, but if you want to get Adidas or whatever, then you can you know, set up your bot to go and buy straight from Shopify, and it just runs multiple accounts, so it looks like to the system at Shopify that you actually, you know, come at it from a number of different customers, not just one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we might
see the wider net.
Yeah.
You keep researching that. We'll keep checking in with you. We should get someone we know at AWS or something like that to help us set
Freddie,
it up.
we need Freddie.
Yeah, we'll get Freddie involved. We'll get some AWS. I think I know an senior engagement manager there. We'll get some cloud stuff.
Let Freddie know that whatever he buys them for, we'll give him an extra 10%, and, you know, we'll get the shoes we want, and he can make some money on the side. It's
We might get Freddie on to talk.
it's one additional entry into his bot record each time he does it.
He's got a
And
bot
we're
up, I think. Anyway, hey, good intro, different intro for us today. We won't talk some shoes. We'll actually go straight into, Lukey. We're going to go into your stash if you've finished lacing your shoes there and you're ready to roll.
Yeah, I just get a little bit of feedback from the crew there. What do you think about?
Oh, hang on.
Sorry. Oh, no, we're
Stash.
that's okay. Well, anyway, regardless, can you see that?
Hang on.
The red laces.
Look at you. Red laces.
I've got the red laces. I've got the tag. I've got the little clicky thing, and it says shoelaces hanging right out the top there of the thing. Look at the way the camera's picking up that 3M. That's pretty hot, eh? What do you think? Do you like that look, or do you prefer the black laces?
What other 12-year-old type apparel have you got to go along with that look?
Look, I can remove this tag. I'm not really keen on the tag. I'm not going to lie. That's not a really interesting
But how would
thing,
you know that it's an off-white if you remove the tag?
Oh,
Let's get a photo of those, Luke. We'll get a photo and put them up for the people on the podcast.
Catch-22, Lukey.
That was the most awkward 2 minutes for a podcast. You'll ever see us go, that's good. Oh, great.
Joel can hate you. He's just a hater. Joel's been a hater.
We can hate on you later. Hey, Lukey
It's an easy way not to be disappointed. Don't ask me.
Max, put it up, Max. Put it up quick. Yay, Lukey stash.
It's gone away now.
What happened, Max? All right. Over to you, Lukey.
Yes, hello, yes. All right, so these shoes are in a commemoration to do with the Last Dance, and everything's related to his greatness. And I've been wearing them all day. These are essentially, like in a nutshell, these are CP39s. Now, I know that as far as the team goes, the Jordan branded stuff gets a little bit of a harsh reception, but I have multiple pairs of CP3s, and then I bought them at a time where your options were Kobe's, Durant's, and CP3s.
Mm-hmm.
And CP3s were the best choice for me as far as something you can actually like play in, like a functional basketball shoe. These are a 2016 release, but these are the 9s.
Yeah.
And they got the swoosh, the swoosh. They got the Jumpman there. They got like a Tiffany blue inner sole and a load of different materials. They got some concrete and midsole. Interesting lacing system. They got 3M up the guts.
Yep. So
that's basically where it's at. Obviously, everybody knows Chris Paul, love him or hate him, but he does have his own division of Jordan brand sneakers, and that's the 9. So fit and performance, they're lightweight, they're low to the ground. They don't have that extra little section that they have on Kobe's that can be a little bit of a make or break for some of our less balanced individuals. But that's them. Yeah, the CP39, and that's like a cement colorway. I got to stop spinning it so fast. There we go. Yeah.
So before I get Jolie to comment, so they're the white and black just for our podcast because we need to describe them a bit better. So it's what colorway is that fully? It's black, tongue, white. Is that what it was?
Yeah. It's the white and grey CP39 colorway. That's pretty much what they call it.
Joel, thoughts on those, mate?
Like all the shoes that are kind of new, I'm always curious to know what they play like. You know, they look like a good performance shoe. I haven't really paid attention, to be honest, Luke, to the CP3 range, but I'm not sure how they stack up compared to some of the other ones, but they look like a decent shoe to play in. Are they? Have you tried playing in?
No, I played in these for like a full couple of seasons. Okay. So they are. Yeah, right. There's more around the place. This is different colorway. That's a 10, I think. They're performance basketball shoes. They're a tight fit. Once you're in, you're in. Nice. They don't have the extra strap. The reason I go with the I was going with the CP3s, was because every other shoe that Nike released, the bronze were too bulky. Yep. The OG Air Jordans were sort of similar, like just sort of heavy things. The KDs, to me, were hit and miss, and then I've spoken at length about what the problem is with the Kobe's. So once I got I can run around in these, they're low to the ground, they're pretty minimalist, lightweight, traditional sort of lacing system, so there's no sort of, they're not pulling at you from funny angles. So they're good for a more mature player. They're no, because you know how hard it is to get a fit. Those shoes, like Trae Young, those Adidas that he wears, those laceless ones, I love those shoes. They're a bit out there, but I love them. But I can't wear them because my legs are turned bloody blue. Like they were just cut off the circumcision. Because they don't lace. So, these you can go to town. You can do some serious work. You can do some damage with these puppies.
So what price are they at the moment? The 9s. What were they when you brought them? What are they?
All the CP3 range were around $200.
Okay. Yeah, they look all right. They look like a good basketball shoe, actually, I think. They're not too bad for a
good shoe to play
in. That's it. That's what they're for. They're for playing basketball, would you believe?
Funny that.
Yeah. Wow.
Who would have a shoe that does that? Yeah, that's good. So do you like the 9 or the 10 better? You talked about both. Do you like that 9 or the 10?
I like the ones. I like the 9 because what happened later on is they started adding extra elements around the lacing system, and they just got harder and harder to get into, and the fit wasn't as good. So these ones are just basically, that's a shoe with a tongue and some laces, and sometimes that's what you need. These are Chris Paul's fancy version of an Audacity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're a basketball shoe. They don't have an extra strap, or they don't have a funny, like a PG thing here, and they haven't got a zip. They're a shoe that you wear to run around in. That's pretty much.
They're really good. They're nice. Thank you. Anything else you want to add to that, Jolie?
No. There you go. I learned some stuff about CP3 shoes.
Me too. Does it call out for fouls, Lukey? Like, does it complain to the ref? Does it?
Look, it says this is another one. This is a really old one. I've had these a long time. These are, I don't even know what year release these are. But Clippers. Look at them on the front. They say Jordan. That's that jump man. Okay? Yeah. So show some respect.
Yeah. It doesn't say your shirt's untucked, give him a tech foul or anything like that.
Respect on his name.
All right. Thank you, Lukey. Another one. Will they end up on around the sneaker one day when you're right at the end?
Yeah, no. Look, I might have been wearing these already today, so we might have doubled up. So I'm just hoping that these videos don't come out.
Surely that's going to start to happen soon, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to catch up.
No. Well, I just double the content. So what happens is I made a video for these shoes, which is coming out in the morning. But, the reason that I'm doing that, especially with shoes like this that are a couple of years older, is with the new stuff, if I wear them with fresh socks, it's all good. But with some of the stuff that I've played a few games in and everything, they've still got the ghosts of games past in them, which is going to come up in the next segment. So if you wear, So if you wear them to go to the gym, or like I've got a court at home, if I go out and play a little bit in them, they sort of it reactivates some of the funk. And from that point, I'm not going to go and put my foot into this after that. You know, that's not going to happen. So that's why they sort of, if they go on, they stay on. So that's the science behind that. Yep.
All right. Hey, good segue. So look, we've talked how to look after sneakers before, that sort of stuff. I thought we'd talk some of the rules. We did a bit of digging this week. I did some digging trying to find the rules of sneakers and, you know, how to treat your sneakers and sneakerhead commandments, that sort of stuff. So I've got a couple of lists here. I've got one from Hugo Boss. I've got one from our friends at complex.com, which has the 10 sneakerhead commandments. And I've got one is the 6 sneaker rules every man should know. So I thought I'd talk to you boys and see if we agree with some of these, right? So, hey, Lukey, I want to start with this one. I think this one's right up your alley. So, the 6 sneaker rules every man should know. Number 4, keep them clean. What do we think? Is that a rule we should follow?
Yeah. And it's just, it's as you go. So, if you walk up an escalator and you give them a little bit of a scuff, you get a wet wipe and you sort it out. Because if you leave it, then that's it. I can't stand that, like shoes that just get kicked to death constantly, and then you see people are just lazy about maintenance. So, yeah, that's a big one, keeping them clean. But part of keeping shoes clean is to have a rotation of sneakers. So this is a Chinese proverb. If you have 3 pairs of shoes, they will last you 100 days, but 1 pair will only last you 30. Think about it.
Wow. You're too wise for us, mate. You're too wise. Hey, I'm going to give you rule number 2, Joel, because out of these 6 sneaker ones, number 2 is keep rotating them. Does that fit into what Lukey just said?
Sounds like something Lukey's bought into. That's my plan too, right? You know, like I hold a certain amount of shoes that I'm prepared to wear on the dog walk, or you know, on a wet day. I'll bring them out because I know that I'm going to be able to replace them. They're, you know, it's most likely an Air Force One. But the shoes that I really care about, you know, like I'll rotate through those maybe once or twice a year.
Yep. Good way of doing it.
Because the Chinese are good at maths, clearly.
They use an abacus. Hey, Joel, what are some of the risks of dog walks?
Well, stepping in dog shit.
The worst one.
Yeah.
Hey, but on that rotation stuff, I think
you know.
you know, if you know, you know.
You know.
So, you know, with that rotating, I think we all do it as well. We have separate shoes for certain things, like you said, Joel. We have some for gym. We have some for going out. I think that, to me, is the secret, right? You don't want to go, hey, these are my gym shoes, but I'll wear them out to the cinema. Yeah, I've done them on a dog walk yesterday. They've got a poo. That's where you get yourself caught. So I think that's probably the rotational thing. Hey, here's one that I was interested in. Number 6 on the 6 sneaker rules every man should know was don't wear white socks. When I first read this, I was like, what are they on about? But so it says the only person ever allowed to wear white socks was Michael Jackson. So don't ever wear white socks if you're not Michael. White socks cannot be worn with formal shoes or casual shoes. You're permitted to wear white socks only with running shoes. Now, I didn't like this rule. What do we think, Luke, about that rule?
I think it has some weight. I think if you're wearing long pants, you can't have a white sock on. Like, that's whack. You can't have a sock that peeks out. I wear a lot of ankle socks, so if I am wearing running shoes or whatever, then yeah, Joel doesn't. I'm not in Melbourne. I'm not in Melbourne, Joel. You're wearing a button-down, whatever that is, and I'm wearing a Clippers tank top because I'm tropical.
I'm just going to agree with you, Luke. You're not in Melbourne.
No.
Luke, what? Okay, we'll catch you later, Luke. Joel, what do you think about white socks? That number 6 rule.
I don't know. I don't think we should rule out the white socks. I mean, that sounds to me like it's off the Hugo Boss list. Is that right?
Oh no, that was 6 rules every man should know. I got it with, you know, I'd never wear white socks if I was wearing formal shoes. Definitely. Right? If I'm going to work, I'm not wearing my white socks.
Yeah, don't do that at work.
Yeah. But he said, but they say, or casual shoes, which I disagree with. I've got a pair of white Stance that someone on this podcast might have brought me one Christmas, and I wear them with some shoes and jeans. It wasn't you, Luke, by the way.
Grey socks that split the difference.
White ankle socks.
Stop it. Stop it. No one needs to see your old man ankles.
You know what's that's a good length. That's a good length of sock there. Look at that. That's like a little bit higher than an ankle sock. Look at that.
That's a crew. That's a crew. That's like,
yeah, just
that's like halfway to nowhere.
You don't like crew socks?
Hang on, maybe I'm getting my crews confused with my ankle. I think that, I don't know. Mine are taller. That's the point. Mine are taller.
My ankles are taller.
6 inches.
All right,
Don't be jealous.
Let's talk about the Hugo Boss 10 rules of sneakers. I love these. This is favorite. We're talking of ankles, Joel. Number 7 was show some ankle. A small but important detail in spring and summer. Leave your socks in the drawer. We're leaving them in the drawer, Joel?
No, never. Never. Not with jeans. Not with shorts. I don't know. Remember, this is a pretty simple segment for me. Socks are 6 inches tall. That's it.
What about Dwayne Wade? Dwayne Wade doesn't. He exposes his ankle quite a lot.
What's that got to do with it?
I know.
Dwayne Wade's from Queensland.
I think, you know what I think? This is when I got these rules out. We'll do some sneakerhead commandments in a minute, but the other two, I think they're more for dress shoes, right? Like, yep, you don't wear dress shoes without socks, and that's why I like. And so, is the definition of that's what I wrote here? Is the definition of sneaker wrong for both of these, right? Because the next one is take good care. Yeah, we know all that. And this one was maybe laugh. Number 10, know when to leave your sneakers at home. Do we ever leave our sneakers at home, Luke?
No. What are they talking about?
They're talking about strict dress code stuff, you know, black and white tie events, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I would have been fine if Joel had wore Jordan 4s to my wedding. That would have been okay. I don't know. That's one of their rules, right? And then they've got something that I think you'll like, Luke. Number 2 is invest in quality. No?
Quality sneakers?
Yeah, it just says invest in quality. I'm guessing they're talking about sneakers. So high quality leather and premium workmanship are essential if you want sporty shoes to transition seamlessly to a more formal setting. So I think they're a bit up.
I mean, that sounds like sound advice.
Yeah, but I think they're a bit.
Honestly, though, have you seen like some of the major fashion brands' attempts at sneakers? They're fucking terrible, and they are so gaudy and horrible and vastly overpriced. I'm not talking about like funky fashion brands like you know. I'm talking about Armani jeans, Hugo Boss.
Right,
some of
the halfway houses.
Yeah, the halfway house of shoes, which is basically the domain of like 50-year-old. Jesus, I can't.
Yeah, I think they're half in. Right? They're not a Gucci. They're not a even.
It's like if a boat shoe was a sneaker, what would it look like?
Yeah, that's right. If your Armenian fireplace installer wanted to wear boat shoes.
John was giving you a pair. You just spoiled the whole thing for the Hey, let's finish off. So I got complex.com. I've got the 10 sneakerhead commandments. I'll read you a commandment, Joel, and you let me know.
These I'm interested in. Let's go.
You let me know if you're going to follow these commandments. So I wanted to start with you. Is number 2, thou shalt be accepting of the new generation as the older generation accepted you. Is that a commandment you're going to follow?
No, that's complete bullshit. That is just PR. That is sales talk.
Yeah,
that is like we've got to keep the game moving forward. That's let's celebrate greatness and forget that the dudes that played in the 90s were actually the greatest.
Hey, Lukey, are you going to follow this one? Number 7 was thou shalt not resell general releases.
Full size one, Luke.
I'm not going to follow that at all because there is a racket in buying in sunny places and selling in cloudy places. Yeah. So no, I'm about to.
I don't think this complex.com religion's for us at the moment. I think it's quite Then what was number 8 here is thou shalt not ask somebody to reveal their connect. We're asking everybody who they get the connect from, so I think we're out of that.
No, there's an etiquette around the plug. Like I've kept in with respect to everyone, I've maintained some anonymity with the plug at this stage. I mean, we've got a little a bit of a help, which is always helpful, even if it's some advice and a little bit of inside information. But I mean, we know when we did the interview with old mate that we guessed who the plug was, but
yes,
he wasn't telling us. You know, he was just we guessed. So yeah.
Hey, let me finish with one more, which I'm totally not following this commandment. Thou shalt not covet what they didn't realize existed 10 minutes ago. At the moment, that's not me at all. I just look, oh, that's great. I love this. And, you know, there's an Air Jordan 1 Milan. Let's go. And, oh, hang on, there was this. And I'm totally against that at the moment. I'm finding a whole lot of new things every 15 minutes. What about you, Joel? Do we like to not cover what we just realized existed 10 minutes ago?
I don't know. I don't really care when they come out, to be honest. If I like them, I like them.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? They're interesting commandments. I don't think these would be the ones I'd be wanting Moses to put on the tablet if I was Catholic and I was a sneaker follower. Hey, we have to get going because Max is giving us the wind up and because we're always over time. Thanks, gentlemen. That was interesting. I think maybe we'll have to write our own commandments next time. How about that? We might write our own 10 commandments one day.
The rule. The stay off rules.
Or we'll get Joel's bot to write it. Hey, all right, we're going to hand over to Freddie from Creasedupkicks. Freddie's been telling us what's coming up in the next week. Jump on that, and we'll be back just after Freddie.
Hey guys, so I'm Fred from Creasedupkicks. I'm just going to be doing the weekly releases for this podcast today. So, first release that's going to be coming up is the Brazil Dunks, which released on the 21st of May. So those released on Thursday on sneakers and your local skate stores. So ring up Fast Times or UPS, whatever skate stores are near you. Those will be releasing in Australia. So they're a green and yellow dunk with an all leather upper. So trailing off the Syracuse and Kentucky. They should have pretty good value if you're looking to flip or if you're looking to wear them. Might be pretty hard to get, so make sure you're ready to get your manual game on. So next release after that will be another dunk on the 23rd. A pretty hyped dunk. That dunk is the Ben & Jerry dunk. So it's been pretty hyped. A lot of rappers have been seen wearing it, so a lot of people are trying to get them. Resale value should be upwards of $700. So it'll be a very hard cop and extremely hard. Most stores will be doing raffles, so you have stores such as Passport, Fast Times, UPS, or your skate stores. Expect some overseas retailers as well to raffle them off, so be sure to check through websites such as Kith or whatever dunk retailers you're aware of, because they'll be releasing them. They'll be coming in a special box as well, which is an ice cream tub from Ben & Jerry's, that classic ice cream tub. So those will have even more value as a normal pair as well. And they'll be obviously a lot harder to get. Next up on the 29th is the last release of the list we got. It's pretty small next few days. So the next release is the Travis Scott 270s, which have been delayed at least 3-4 times. So we're finally getting the release. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed last minute. But they're the Travis Scott 270s. Obviously they are Travis Scott, so they're going to be pretty hard to get. But it's a less popular model. So the 270s, so they shouldn't be as hard to get as the Jordan 1s and Air Forces. So the Travis Scott 270 should be dropping at stores like Supply Store for your local Australians, and clothing as well by raffle. So pretty much all the stores will be doing raffle system online. Obviously lockdown laws are getting more relaxed, so some stores might be doing in-store raffles. So stay notified on Instagram as well. And that's the 29th for the Travis Scott 270s, and that's it for this week. If you guys ever need info and tips on how to cop, we have a Discord for that, soul.assist on Instagram. we release memberships monthly. So we're currently sold out, but we'll have some more memberships restocking soon. And of course, if you guys are looking to get any of these items, we most likely will have them at Creasedupkicks on Instagram. So thank you to everyone for tuning into the podcast, and that's it.
All right. Thank you, Freddie. As always, very informative. Hey, gents, we've got one of our famous segments, Joel's Seal Approval. We all know what this is, and Joel wants us to make sure we. Well, look at that, Joel. We've got your banner up.
I know. I have great expectations today, boys.
Yeah, you don't want to be a hater for the rest of
I
this.
do not want to be a hater.
All right, Lukey, are you confident with yours today?
Yeah, as soon as we throw it up and I can remember what it is, then
I'm going to go first. Look at you. I was trying to work out who goes first, but you're up. Go.
Oh yeah, now I remember.
Sean Kemp.
I was trying to keep it all relative, and these are Reeboks. We don't do enough Reeboks on the show. I will go out and say that, and I'm on a Reebok chase at the moment. So
this is true.
Yeah, we don't do enough, but these are from that same era. And of course, Sean Kemp made a very, very impressive finals appearance in '96. Very impressive. He could just do it all, and those are his shoes. They're the Reebok Kamikaze. So I think they're actually Kamikaze too. Those, but regardless, that's what they are. So Jolie, have at it.
I love the short introduction this time. It just smells of confidence to me. Seal of approval, brother.
Yeah.
Love those things. Love those things. 1991 dunk competition. D Brown, Sean Kemp, the Rain Man, the Alley-oop King.
Joel's just approving because he needed approval. He's like, I've got to approve something. There's a lot.
I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be a hater.
Okay. If that's the truth, then let's see what he says.
No, it's not the truth.
I genuinely like those shoes.
They are great.
I genuinely love those shoes.
And I think Reebok is a really good discussion. We don't do enough Reebok.
Yeah. They should bring those back too, Lukey. They need to make those.
Yeah, actually, right. They're not too bad. Did they have other colorways, Lukey, or was that the main colorway they had?
No, they had the original colorway is actually just black and white. The Kamikaze. So
okay,
but yeah, there are multiple other colorways. They have re-released them a couple of times, but Reebok had some issues recently, and they're not really releasing a load. So hopefully, fingers crossed. And I have been kicking around the internet that Reebok really pulled their finger out and re-released some of their fantastic. There's like so many Iversons that I want to get my hands on, but I held previously and wore them out. So that's some fantastic shoes.
That's interesting.
The answer, the question, the paragraph.
Yeah, that's
the statement.
The exclamation point.
Yeah, I wonder why Reebok's not doing that, but I think that's a discussion for another day, right? Because there is a lot of old stuff. If they re-release it, I wonder if it's contracting or there's some sort of some issue they can't. Anyway,
their issue was they couldn't sell shoes for shit, so they stopped.
Yeah, that's right. Their issue is Nike.
No, but I reckon if they packaged up that Kemp one, they did the Iverson one well, the T-Mac, they've got a whole lot of them they could do really well.
No, T-Mac's Adidas.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, sorry, here is too. Sorry, I was thinking Adidas because I went hard and that's definitely Adidas. That's why.
I think didn't Adidas buy the controlling stake in Reebok, and then that's what happened. So they're probably trying to build some scarcity so they can come out and sell Iversons for $400 a pair. Right. That's probably there'll be some corporate conniving going on. That's what it'll be.
That's something we should talk about. That secondary. There's another top max secondary sneaker market because there's some really interesting stuff on that. Nike doesn't care. They sell theirs they sell them for the normal price. They want the secondary market to be the driver, not the first one. They don't really care about it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, don't put mine up yet, Max. I want to talk a bit about mine first. So I'm going to give you an SB today, Jolie. It's an old style SB. This one is from 2003. It's a high. Now, why I decided we're keeping a theme. You can flick it up now, Maxie. So we are keeping the Jordan theme. So these were designed by skater Todd Jordan. So,
no, I don't feel like you've got this.
So Todd Jordan did these. These are actually called the Hulks. So they've got a green tone to them. Lukey loves green, so I thought Lukey'd like this. But yeah, this was their third high top they did. It's only the second year SBs have been out, and you know how much I'm in love with SBs at the moment. So this was their Hulk edition. They've got another one called Lodens, which is sort of the cousin to this one, which actually looks really nice as well. My favourite bit about these, Joel, is these are about 10 years old, obviously a bit more, about 15 years old. I looked them up on StockX, and they were selling for about $1,500. And on Goat, they are $3,500. So, yeah, I know. You can't put a price on quality, can you? So, what do you reckon about the SB Hulks, Joel?
While I'm admiring Luke do his MJ impersonation without the cigar. Mate, I actually do like them. I've seen those Hulks before, and I reckon just purely from a design point of view, that's a cool looking shoe. Like regardless of the fact they're milking the Marvel enterprise and sort of making their money off that. But I like things that have got cool texture and an interesting color. That's definitely a shoe that you could wear.
Definitely.
$300 or $400 sounds about the right price for something like that.
No, not three.
No, not at all. But no, they're definitely a cool looking shoe. And like the whole SB thing, I was watching some stuff recently. I think it was on Complex, and it said that SB's really been riding high for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's probably about time that there is a bit of a movement towards something else. And they reckon that Air Force Ones are going to start to come back.
Yep.
Which will be interesting, right? Next year or so to see whether that changes.
Everybody seems to do an SB or an Air Force One, obviously. You know what made me laugh about these? The Hulk thing, you're talking about that. 10 years after the release, that's when they sort of started to put the nickname the Hulk on. There you go. So, yeah,
right. Well, I mean, from that point of view, that's a cool story, right? They didn't start out there. They just started out with the design.
I couldn't find the name of what they just said. Everyone calls them the Hulk when I did my research. But yeah, they sort of said that the name came out way after the nickname came after its release for its comparison to the Marvel character. So it was initially one of the many overlooked SB releases. So it was something they did that no one actually liked initially.
What was that? They call it the Hulk as a comparison to the Marvel character. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. I don't know why. Green didn't understand. I couldn't find the connection. But anyway, was that two approvals?
Yeah, it is.
This is bullshit. This is bullshit. These shoes, you had these shoes up last week, you fucking... These are the same those furry 420 shoes that you brought out last time. Well, they were on there. No, these are exactly the fucking same. And the other thing is...
I didn't rate them.
The reason you didn't rate last week, you idiot. You hated them.
Regardless, it's the same shoe. Why do I have to look at the same shoe week after week? If I see one more furry green pair of SBs,
I don't know what you're complaining about, Luke. You got an approval as well. Everyone's happy. No,
that waters down my approval. And the other thing, I'll have you know, those Hulks are not named after the Hulk. They're named after the watch that's called a Hulk because they're just trying to increase the value. They're trying to increase the value of the shoes by naming it after a Rolex. It's one of the most popular Rolex models, is the one with the green face that everyone calls the Hulk. And they thought, oh, I know how we can add value to these shoes. Let's start calling it the Hulk.
In all of my research, which you can't see,
research, it's a Rolex thing. They're dogs. They're corporate dogs, and they've got you both.
Next time you get an approval, Luke, I'm going after your approval.
No, it's not. I'm not going after you. I'm going after Joel.
Why?
He's got no morals.
It had the word Jordan in it. Of course, he's going to approve him somewhere along the line.
Paul, that's not why. That's not why. Let's be clear.
I know. All right. Hey, this is a good segue into rate, hate, and debate, Luke. All right,
here we go. Let's even things up a little bit.
Yeah, let's just put the bat down and calm down, Lukey. All right, we know what rate, hate, and debate is about. We have 3 shoes. Today's is something that was released this year. Joel asked for something that was more relevant last season, so Maxi's producing. Our lucky bad first contestant, I don't know what to start here, is the PG4. Maxi, bring it up. All right, we got the Gatorade colorway. Oh, look at that, Maxi. That's a bit fancy.
There we go.
Move them around. We've talked about these a bit. The booing in the black and white colorway. The PG4's most notable design detail is the shrouded upper, complete with the zipped equipped shell. The shell secures a duo of meshes, one tightly woven with a fused overlay for support on the lateral side. The other spacious and breezy for lightweight breathability on the medial side. Lukey, do we rate or hate the PG4s?
We rate the PG4s, but that's my least favorite colorway. So
Why? I like this colorway. I took some great photos of these once for you.
that's not the same shoe.
I know. It looked like it from that side. They're both black on the
Yeah,
side.
well, who would know with the photos that you took?
That's what I was saying. I took a photo of anything. I took that shoe. I called it the other one.
And
So we're rating it, but we're not exactly loving it. Hey?
I mean,
Is that
rating,
cool?
but I prefer that colorway. Even though, I mean, look at it. It's ridiculous. You look at those other shoes, they're black and white and they sensible. This is like something a 6-year-old would wear, but I do actually prefer this
That is a nice
this
color.
colorway. But as a shoe and as a performance shoe and as a basketball shoe, they're actually really good. So no, I like PG4s. I would buy that pair. Like it wouldn't be my first choice. It'd be my least.
You're going to get the whole lot anyway. You're getting the whole lot of PG4s, aren't you, eventually?
I am. I'm going to get them all. So yeah.
Joel, we rating or hating the PG4?
What do these things sell for? I'm just off the top of
170.
my head, I'm guessing they're like $50-$60.
$170.
All right, that's surprising.
Not really. Where are we at,
Nah.
Luke? You look like you're frozen, Luke. Oh, is that just you with your bad stare?
I'm disappointed
No.
because a pair of furry green SBs are like, oh, let's do a backflip, and then some decent basketball shoes turn up, and
But this is not surprising. This is not surprising. You know, there's design. You know, we've talked about this. I'm interested in design. What's that shoe do for me? The only reason
it's got a zip.
It's got a shroud. It's got a zip. The only reason I would be interested in a modern day basketball shoe is if it was actually a really good performance shoe. And of all the shoes on the market, not the PG4.
Whatever.
The Jordan latest version. That would be the only one I'd be interested in. 34s.
Todd Jordan from SB Designer Range.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a hate.
That's,
Sorry, PG. I know you like Nintendo, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, I rate these. Luke and I talk about PG4s all the time. I've got the 3 NASA. Luke is right. I wouldn't pick this colorway. I'd pick the black and white colorway, or I don't know about yours. What other? Do you like the blue? What's the blue colorway? Is that?
And there's a purple Gatorade as well, which
Purple
is quite
Gatorade,
nice. And there's the blue. Like there's heaps of colorways. There's a Clippers one. There's tons and tons. So
I don't think we go the black, but I definitely rate this silhouette, and I like the PGs. And I like a shroud on my shoe, Joel, sometimes.
on
Like
his
a bit of
shoe,
mystery.
yeah, it's good.
I like a shroud on my shoe. All right, let's move on to sneaker number 2. We've got an Air Max 2090 today. Oh, sorry. Max said here these are retailing at $110, but I'm guessing that's US for the first one. The Air Max 2090, this came out in April. Swoosh's Air Max 2090 has already built up quite a personal portfolio by teasing a wide array of upcoming colorways. Visually, the shoes are primarily hued in neutral nature as wolf grey covers its base layers. Oh my God, I'm not going to read all this. This makes room for the Ascents to stand out as hints of bright yellow peek through the exposed stitching tongues and fleckled heel tabs that spruce these up with a summer-ready attitude. Oh my God, I'm just going to hate them for the freaking long thing. This says 150. I'm guessing that's 150 US. So, Joel, do we like this Air Max 2090 colorway?
Yeah, I heard you boys talking about this one the other day when you were on your last episode with Tommy, and I think Luke, you put it really well. The materials that they've used in this, and just the lack of quality. It looks like PVC, that upper, and
You'd be
you know,
lucky.
the whole design. Hey,
You'd be lucky to be PVC. It's probably like it's recycled marine plastics.
Yeah, right. You know, and like I
Use
think they
condoms.
kind of started out. They started out with a design brief. Did you say used condoms?
Yes.
Oh no, I was letting it go, Joel. I was letting it go.
Yeah.
Getting like so.
It looks like they started out with a design brief that said, you know, let's do something that kind of pays respect to the Air Max tradition. But then they decided to give the job to the interns. But they didn't just give it to one intern; they gave it to 15 interns, and they all just kind of worked away in their little, you know, Apple Macs, and they come up with a couple of little things, and they stuck it all together, and they went, yeah, okay.
Yeah. What do we call it? 2000.
Because the kids buy anything these days, right?
Yeah. How many people got involved in making these? 2090. That's I would just call me a Max
2090. 2090.
So that's a hate, Joel.
So that's a hate. That's a hate.
Oh, Luke, I think we know where this is headed. Rating or hating these?
I hate them at 200 because they're $200. But I'll buy them when they're $100. So that's pretty much how I can. That's how I can clarify. I have to hate them. I hate them.
That sounds like sitting on the fence to me.
No. So in a vacuum, Luke. In a vacuum.
You rate and you hate.
No,
If this then that.
No, I hate them as they are.
You hate them.
I know because as they are originally intended to be designed, I hate them. I don't especially like
off
them.
the fence. I like it.
Well, because you have to do that. Not saying that in the future when they turn up en masse at your local Nike outlet on the back shelf, that I won't buy it there because I will. Because I'm sure they're easy to get on and they're non-offensive, so I just go with them. But yeah, that whole thing, that's all the Vapor Maxes are made out of that shit. It's crap.
That's the shit that was the stuff we talked about last week as well.
Yeah,
crap. Look, I hate these as well, but I'm actually with Luke, Joel. I reckon if they turned up at $70, $80 somewhere, I might buy a pair. I would. Why not? I brought a pair.
There'll be plenty of stock for you.
I bought a pair of Lacoste. I'll buy anything.
Man, you're getting a lot of bloody run out of those Lacostes, let me tell you.
Yeah, I tell you.
I have to. That's what I have to get. That's my upper. After my partner might have just brought a new pair of Gucci's last week.
Ooh.
Yep. So she's now completed her collection. Her collection is like 10 times the price of mine. She's got like 8 pairs of shoes. But we won't worry about that. Hey, I'm going to
classy girl. She's a classy girl.
Oh, she only bought you
all we've
Gucci's.
learned.
She could buy some for herself.
No, she bought
That's what I heard too, Luke. That's what I heard too.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was.
No, it wasn't. She just tested me. I was the test run. So anyway, these look good. I'll just buy another pair. All right, let's finish off with an Adidas. So you said we don't do enough Reebok and Adidas. Let's do one of these. This is the Adidas Harden. Yeah, I don't know if I want to read it. Inspired by, this is my favorite bit, inspired by James Harden's childhood friends. These basketball shoes are designed for his signature game. Built with an adjustable strap for stability and fit, they feature a padded internal collar that lets you Euro step in comfort. Joel, do we rate or hate?
How are they designed after something to do with his friends? What's that got to do with his friends? Well, he's got 3 friends, 3 stripes.
Probably. Or his friends are all. No, I was going to say something else, but I won't say.
One of them wears a high collar.
Yeah,
so he's got to have a strap around the.
One's a priest. I don't know. These are retailing 120 US, so I'm guessing it's probably about 220 Aussie, aren't they?
What number Harden are these? Like, what are they?
3. These are the 3s. James Harden BE3.
3.
Yes. Joel, hate.
Hate.
Hey, Luke, I reckon you're torn on these. There's no laces. They've got a strap. Just get them on. What do you reckon, Luke?
Do they look familiar to you?
Right. Yeah.
But that's not them. This is a Nike shoe.
Yeah.
Is that a KD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just went and they just bit the soul completely. They said, "Oh, I think I like the look of that KD11. I'm just going to replicate it on our shoe," and just completely copied it 100%, which is
absolutely close.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So regardless, they're crap. I couldn't even get my big toe in those shoes. That's the most frustrating thing about Adidas. They occasionally forget that humans have to wear them, and it's just like I lived 3 years of it with the Garnett range. I was a big Garnett fan when he was in Minnesota because he had some amazing games, and I wanted to buy his shoes really badly, and I couldn't even get my big toe in them. They were just such a shit access scenario. So yeah, no, hate.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, hate.
Yes, hate. Lots of hate. Look, I'm not going to say much about these. I hate these as well. I don't. You know what? It's hard. I think we talked about with LeBrons and we talked about with Harden's. You know, that whole thing. Inspired after his childhood friends. I don't get what that means. You know, they're designed for his signature game. What? So you just take all the shots? That's great. Thanks. That's how we want to play, and that's what I almost do, right? Like, yeah. Look, I tried to talk myself into not these Hardens, but the Harden ones. I thought they were good, and I went and had a look at them. They were just garbage. But I'm going to hate on these ones, and maybe it's the colorway. Maybe we had a better colorway, but we have to hate on what we've got here. So that was another hate for us. We've been pretty good today, pretty consistent.
Consistent
Our middle name. Hey, boys, we made it to the end, as we always do. That was a nice, interesting chat. Hey, Lukey, we always like to finish with a final word or a comment. Anything you've learned today?
Yeah, I have. We're all a little bit disappointed that The Last Dance is finished and we've watched all 10 episodes and paid close attention. And some of the more recent episodes featured some players from the 97 and 98 Utah Jazz. And one of them is John Stockton. Now, just because John Stockton is an average-looking white dude doesn't mean that you can run out and do John Stockton-type stuff, okay? So the moral to the story is you don't need to look cool to be cool.
You've been all wise today, mate. You've got proverbs, you've got sayings. Joel, how do you follow looking cool to being cool? How do we follow that to finish?
I think that kind of sparks a Last Dance reference from me as well. My observation after watching this thing for the last 10 episodes is that it's reconfirmed my belief that there is Michael Jordan, Daylight, and then about 5 or 6 players who could potentially be in the top 5 of all time. And LeBron is one of them. Kobe is definitely one of them. You got Magic, you got Bird, you got Duncan, you got Shaq, you got Kareem, you got Russell.
Russell's the one I was going to bring up.
You got all those dudes, but MJ and Daylight.
Yeah. And I think because we all grew up with him.
Russell was being defended by white guys your size. So just to put that into context.
I know, but it was just not even that. It was hey, you can only beat what's out there, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's not bad. That must be an AFL thing. I've never heard that before. You can only beat what's out there.
People would say,
So here's my theory, right? That doesn't ever get spoken about in the GOAT debate. Teams win championships, not players. Mm-hmm. We're always talking about the best player, but teams win championships. Yes. So surely the influence of the superstar player to be able to drag that team to win championships, surely that is the measure of the GOAT.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about making
the measure of the GOAT.
Better. The amount of thought and how he said, and he was very clear on this, and he got all emotional about it, how he never asked him to do stuff that he wouldn't do, and he knew that he had to do that to bring them along because there was points in 93. Paxson hit that shot. And then Steve Kerr hit it in, 97.
Yeah.
And you can't just be like letting them fuck around and do all this sort of stuff and not have this huge sort of wind up and going through and trying to teach you. Yeah. I'm sure he would like to just sit on the bus and be everyone's mate and take it easy and everyone be like, oh, Mike's the best. He scores 30 and treats us a strip club and all this. Can't do it. You can't do it. He actually took the time to just separate himself at the cost of his own.
He stood on an island.
That's
Do it on
it.
an island.
That's it. Not because
Look at
that's
us.
how we want. Yeah.
Finishing
It's
on
for the good of the future God. 6 out of 6. Unbelievable.
I know, it was pretty amazing. But you know what's also, we could talk this forever. You know, it took him 7 years to get there, and everyone forgets how much of the struggle was, and he had to learn as he went. But I think it was amazing. Hey, my final thought is, you know, when you're growing up and you get a whole lot of stuff and you get a bit older, and I don't want to keep any of that. I want to throw it all out. I wish I hadn't have thrown a lot of my stuff out, but I happened to find these, Joel, and you'll love these.
Wristbands.
Jordan wristbands.
Toronto Raptors.
They got to be 20 years old. Easily.
Yeah, they probably need a wash.
I found them the other day. One of our things, and I remember we had so much of this gear. We had like headbands and stuff. But you just throw it all out, and then all of a sudden it becomes. So I've got these, Joel. I might need them next time, Luke. Next time for a rate, hate, and debate, I might need to use it. Hey, thank you for joining us on YouTube and on podcast. If you made it this far, thank you again. We will see you next week.